Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is Michael Trepagnier. Of course, for starters, what do you do?
I'm an audio engineer, and I also teach over here at ACM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've taken a few of your classes. You were the first teacher that, I walked in to ACM. And
Was I?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, you were like a good introduction to what ACM is, I guess, for me. So then let's get a little bit of the background of what made you become an audio engineer.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, I was a half-assed musician at best. You know, I grew up playing violin through elementary school and middle school. It's just one of those I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't bad, but I wasn't really good either. And then I don't know. It must have been middle school where it wasn't cool to be in orchestra.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really concerned about image so much as I don't like classical music that much.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those that's I don't know, man. This is cool and I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you again?
I'm 21.
Okay, you're 21. So that record came out when you were a little baby, but
Sure.
The first Weezer record, the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that record at all, but that came out and it really kind of messed with my head a little bit. It was so much fun, and it was just the songs were so tight and concise and perfect. It inspired me to think differently about music, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I strayed away from playing violin and I picked up electric bass because the strings were in the same order.
Yeah.
Or they were reversed, but they were at least the same strings.
Yeah.
And so, and then I just kind of, and I think I really disappointed my orchestra teacher.
Sure.
I really liked him and he really liked me. And I was going to high school and he was like, yeah, man, you got to keep it up. And I was like, I think I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
And he was really bummed out and he was a big influence on me. Really, really amazing guy. Larry Moore. He's still teaching around town.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic person. So that's where it started. And then I started playing in horrible rock bands. And
as you do.
Yeah, as you do as a 14, 15-year-old kid, just playing in garage bands. And I don't know. I realized I like this, but I'm not that good at it. I'm not going to be that bass player.
Sure.
You know, I'm going to be a bass player who is in a band that will never be, I will never be really more than that. And that's okay. And then we made a demo, this band I was in, and we borrowed a bunch of equipment. It was like a small desk that had it must have been like a Porta Studio or something. And so it was just a cassette recorder doing multi-track. And our guitar player's cousin or something owned all this stuff and he just brought it over. And we borrowed it and I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah. And
that kind of led to when I graduated high school, I took all the money that you get for graduating or whatever. I'm like, what am I going to use this for?
Yeah.
And I went and I bought recording equipment. So I bought my first Pro Tools rig straight out of high school and it was Pro Tools 5.1 or something like that. And then I bought a crappy starter pack of microphones. And then my family went on vacation for that summer. And I said, I'm good. I'm stay here.
Yeah.
And so I moved everything out of my bedroom and slept in my parents' bedroom and used that as a recording room. And me and my friends just made weird noises for a summer. And that's where it started, really.
Yeah.
And then just kept that up through college. I started, I guess the first business was running a recording studio between me and my across the hall, like in the dorms.
Yeah.
We ran a business out of the dorms, quite illegally. But it was really weird because he was into recording, I was into recording, and we just kind of compiled what equipment we had, and ran cables between our rooms.
Mhm.
We were across the hall from one another, and we used one as the control and one as the live. And that's where it started.
That's
And,
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. And then I went to recording school and then moved to New York and did that, and now I'm back.
Well, there's not just like a then move to New York.
Well, it
like...
was. It was. I was chasing a girl. That's exactly what it was.
So I mean, you started out here,
Yeah,
in Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
and what brings you to New York?
a girl. Yeah. So when I went to Arizona for audio school, we were pretty. Me and this lady, we were pretty serious. It was one of those. It's like, I'm not going to ask you to come to Arizona because that's not fair. But if you were to come, that would be really great. And if you just wanted to, because she was going to go to New York regardless, she was a dancer.
Sure.
And I was like, if you want to just go to New York, go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know, please don't wait on me.
Yeah.
I can meet you up in New York or whatever. And she's like, no, we'll go to Arizona. So we went to Arizona for 9-ish months, finished school, and then it was her turn. So she got to pick wherever she wanted to be. And so then I followed her where she was going to go.
Yeah.
And she picked New York, and she had some, maybe rephrase that, family, like friend family things, people she'd grown up with her whole life who were there, and that helped smooth the transition.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got to New York.
But I mean, it allowed you to establish a career.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, yeah, an established career. I don't know if it was ever an established career. You know, it's weird because you start off. I don't know. I started off with an internship at this place in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It was Tony Bennett's studio, and his son ran it. And I got that right out of audio school. It was one of those. I don't know. I wrote a letter to Tape Op, and it wasn't meant to be a letter to the editor. It was just like, hey, I'm leaving audio school.
Yeah.
I'm very serious about this, but I don't think personality-wise I would fit in a Ocean Way or those sorts of things. I was saying naively as a independent kind of like stupid shit, but they next month it came out in the letters to the editor, and I was so embarrassed because everybody at the school reads those things. I read it. I mean, it's my favorite recording magazine in the world. And so then everyone's like, ha ha ha, you know, you're making fun of me or whatever. But I got a call. I randomly got a call from because my email was on there, and so they followed up via email and then called me back. It was Bennett Studios, and so I was moving to New York anyways. It was supposedly a very short drive. I was living in Queens, so you got to Queens all the way around New York City into Inglewood, New Jersey. So it was like a 45-minute drive either way, plus a ton of tolls as they do in the East Coast. So. And then I just interned there until I couldn't afford to intern there anymore, and that's when I started studio managing and engineering out of a room in Astoria, Queens, which is really cool, called the Buddy Project. And then, did that. That turned into, so I was managing that studio. I was working at a wine shop. I had like 4 jobs at once, and then I was working for Philip Glass's record label at the same time. So, and the place that I always wanted to work, even before moving to New York, was a place called Looking Glass, which happened to be Philip Glass's studio. And so, it was really weird because I was searching for a job, you know, and came across this kind of like label gig. But I say that as I was doing shipping. Let's just be honest about what it was. Like I was just packing CDs and helping manage inventory and things like that. And I go to interview for it. Yeah. And I walk into the Looking Glass. Yeah. And I had no idea. Yeah. And it was one of those just like, oh my God, I'm exactly where I've always wanted to be. And, you know, met everybody and they said, yeah, we could take you on as a part-time thing. And it worked out great. So I was doing that. And then they had to fire me because they just didn't have the budget to keep me anymore. So it's one of those like, we're going to have to, because they hired this other guy, Richard, who that was going to be his kind of forever gig. And he was the perfect guy to do it. Not just the managing of inventory, but artist relations, the whole thing. There's only 2 people running the label. And I was superfluous at best, you know. And when that happened, I'd become friends with the studio manager, one of my studio partner after the Looking Glass.
Mhm.
That's where I met him, and lifelong friends. And so when I was being let go, I just walked over to the studio manager's office and I said, "Hey, Christian, you heard about the?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm an engineer, though,
Yeah.
and this is where I've always wanted to be." And at that exact same time, my buddy Brian Bender, who was my studio partner, he went and started working for a different studio.
Yeah.
And he got a really cool opportunity, and so I just kind of slid right in underneath there and became
Yeah.
the Looking Glass guy, and kind of worked my way up from assistant all the way to I don't know, maybe the lead studio guy.
Sure.
There were people who came in and worked with us often. We were just part of the family,
Yeah.
but they weren't employed by. So I was probably the
Yeah.
head engineer at that point for that place for a couple of years. Then,
Well, what did you get to do through all that?
lots. I mean, outside of just meeting some of the greatest people, I feel like not that I'll ever meet, but that have affected me in
Yeah.
a way at a time, especially at that time, that will stick with me forever. You know, I mean
Mhm.
the personal connections and the friendships are probably the most important part that I'll get out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I got to work on some cool records, and
Sure.
and I will always be thankful for that,
Yeah.
and grateful, and what a learning experience. So yeah, I mean, for me, the big takeaway is the family that was created in that place.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, the records are cool, but
Yeah.
I'll always miss my Looking Glass family.
So I mean, what separates? I mean, because you don't just like, yes, you work your way up, but like you gain experience.
Yeah.
So what changes from going to like audio recording school and like actually working through and
Yeah.
working your way up?
It's different, and it's kind of funny because I always feel weird saying this, because part of my job is to help teach you guys
Yeah.
what you do and to help students learn all these things. But everything you learn in audio school doesn't matter. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, because when you get in a room, it's not how well you know how to place a microphone, because you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Yeah, it's all about personality, and so being able to sit in a room quietly and intently listen and learn without seeing, and to be courteous and kind and helpful at all points during the day. I mean, you're the only thing that people know when they walk into a room.
Yeah.
Right? They may have met the studio manager, they know where the kitchen is, they know where the bathrooms are, but you're the lifeline to the larger infrastructure. So
Yeah.
the big takeaway from being an assistant is learning how to listen and learning how to intuitively react without being told. You know, so I mean, I've said this, I don't know if I've said it to you in class, but
Yeah.
you get to the point where you can feel people's blood sugar levels. and that seems weird, but
Yeah.
especially if you work with somebody for long enough,
Yeah.
that I would know. This engineer I worked with forever, I would know when he needed to eat
Yeah.
15 minutes before he needed to eat. And so it'd be one of those things that you would just show up with a menu and a cup of tea, and I'm not hungry yet. I said, yeah, just go ahead and tell me what you might want, and I'll go ahead and get it ordered. And then by the time the blood sugar tanked and,
Yeah.
and the emotions begin to be a thing, you're just like, and here's lunch.
Yeah.
And it's weird, and it seems silly, but I don't know. There's something about it's a service industry,
Yeah.
and whether I'm the assistant serving the band or the engineer or the producer or the studio itself, or you're an engineer, it just depends. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all about this give and take and about an open sense of communication in a room.
Yeah. I mean, can you teach that?
Nope. Nope. And that's the thing. The thing that we can teach is the technical stuff, because that's what keeps your job,
Yeah.
but it's not what gets you the gig, the thing that gets you the gig is being able to take a punch and get back up, and then just being able to back it up with being able to learn quickly and then respond well with the mistakes that you've made. And I think that's something is really hard to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, I got butt hurt more than once in a session where I actually asked to not work with those engineers before, but just because it got personal, you know. But at the same time, I've been kicked out of sessions too.
Yeah.
You know, because I did jive with the flow of the room, and that's not personal. That's just we love this person. His workflow isn't working with us. Let's just get the other person's. Sure. Oh, okay. And those hurt.
Yeah.
Because you work really hard to be in the room.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if it's an engineer you like or it's an artist that you like, you know, if you get taken out of those sessions, those things hurt. But it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, to an extent, you're sort of like a tool.
You're absolutely a tool. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can get hurt whenever you get kicked out of a session, but at the same time, you're not going to use a hammer to, you know.
Yeah, do what a screwdriver needs to do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and making mistakes is part of the assistant experience, you know. I patched that wrong, or I patched it through something that was incorrect, and then, you know, the engineer's going to excuse the band so they can scream at you.
Yeah.
You know, that's that taking a punch thing where you're like, okay, I got it. It won't happen again. Show me what you want, and then that will be the thing. And you'd learn how to work with individual people outside of just how you would do it.
Yeah.
You know, because the thing, and I think the assistant job is so important. It's getting lost in our industry because everyone just has I have a laptop and I just make laptop music. It's like, that's cool. And there's nothing wrong with laptop music, except it doesn't really represent what's happening at large, you know. And if in your own little microcosm, the laptop thing is great.
Yeah.
But if you actually plan on wanting to be an engineer in quotation marks, you know, then I think there's something that can't be taught just by working at home in your own way all the time, you know, because you have to be flexible enough to change every day for somebody else, you know, and it's different. It's different. It's difficult. It's fun.
Yeah. How do you think we can make the experience here a little bit more real?
It's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. I think we do the best that we can given what we have.
Yeah.
You know, it would be nice to have for me, it'd be nice to have smaller classes that I could treat them more like assistant things. And like the Studio 4 that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I try to treat it as much like that as possible when we can. But it's hard to, because I also like the idea of tell me what you don't know and let's try to work on that at the same time. That builds your confidence as somebody to walk into a room. It's a really good question. I think it's something that recording schools will always have a issue with, because you can't really train somebody for you know, for completely unpredictable aspects of what the day's going to be. I mean, the best thing you can just tell them is to be prepared to not be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's it. And then being able to work really hard, you know, I don't know. That's people have no idea how much time and is really invested in sitting in a room and, you know, 100-hour week. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, we got to do this now. You know, it's just, it's so much work and so much focus that I think a lot of people weed themselves out in that way. Yeah. You know, and so what the school can do to help with that would maybe be just to make it more brutal. You know, but I don't know.
Cool.
Sorry.
No, it's
sleeping computers.
Good. Yeah. They get tired.
They do.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna like transition back. Like what? So you leave New York and you come back here.
Yeah.
What brought you back here?
I got I got really exhausted of New York.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. My wife had just, I guess we had just kind of got together, and she moved to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I had started the Looking Glass had closed,
Mm-hmm.
and we had all kind of dispersed. And me and my buddy Brian Bender started our own spot called the Mother Brain,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And I was there long enough to see it open. It
Yeah.
was one of those where the money and time we put into doing it, for me mostly time, for him mostly money, but
Mhm.
it was, I don't know, I was really exhausted.
Yeah.
And my grandmother had died about, I don't know, a year earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't totally super close to her, but I started to feel the pull a
Yeah.
little bit. And that was a grandmother on my mom's side. And then my dad's side of the family, grandma got sick over there. She had Alzheimer's really bad, and I couldn't. And I was closer to them as kids, when we were kids, I guess. But it was. I don't know that I could have stomached another one of those
Yeah.
without at least saying that I tried.
Yeah.
And that I was there. So that was a pull. And Sarah and I weren't married yet, but I knew that we were gonna eventually be married. It was one of those, and I didn't want to put her through New York either.
Mm.
She loved it. She loved being there for the time that we were there, and it was right as I was just over it.
Yeah.
And we had gotten a cool apartment, and that's when the stock market crashed.
Oof.
So it was right at that same time where everything tanked,
Yeah.
and everybody lost their jobs, and it was really weird on the East Coast. It didn't affect
Mm.
the Midwest at all. It was one of those kind of everything was fucked. It was really weird. It's a very strange feeling. And then that happened with the studio closing and not being able to generate enough income with
Yeah.
the new place that we were starting.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, New York is hard enough.
It's
as
a tough
it is.
town. It's a tough town. And Sarah, she's an equestrian coach, and she got kicked off a horse and broke some ribs, and it was just like 3 or 4 really horrible things at the same
Yeah.
time. And I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was really sad to leave, but at the same time, I was really, really glad to be gone.
Yeah.
And as much as I have nothing but love and respect for that town,
Mm.
I never really wanted to live there.
Yeah.
And I did for a long time, and it was great. But I was really glad to be away. And then we moved
Sure.
back here just as ACM was opening randomly. And so, I heard about it, and as we were packing up, kind of thing, then got a call, and they're like, "Yeah, you want to come down and teach?" It's like, "Yeah." and it was cool, and I'd always kind of wanted to teach. I remember in high school really being inspired by a couple teachers that approached the classroom a little differently,
Mm-hmm.
and I appreciated them, and I always thought that'd be fun
Yeah.
to do. And I don't think I was very good at it. I think I'm still just okay at it, but yeah, the first couple of years are rough.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how to teach. I'm not
Yeah.
a teacher. I'm an audio engineer
Yeah.
at best, And so it was interesting. It was super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made, like, because I feel as though it's sort of Oklahoma was home for you.
Yeah. That's where I grew up.
And so even whenever you are sort of like packing up and leaving New York, like the fact that ACM was like opening up and gave you a call just made it more home.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, because, and it's funny, the whole New York thing is just funny just because the studio manager that I worked with there at the Looking Glass, this guy named Christian Rutledge, because every year I'd be like, dude, I don't know. I don't know if this is it for me. And he said, how many years are you in? I'd be like, okay, I'm in a year. He's like, year 2's better. It gets better after 2 years. And after the second year, I'd go, Christian, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is it for me. And he's like, it takes 3 years. It takes 3 years. And so this just kept happening, right? And so at year 5, I'm like, dude, I don't know that I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
And he was like, it takes 7. And I was like, you've said it takes more years after every year. And I don't want to be owned by a place, you know? And I felt, and that's the thing that I noticed from a lot of my friends who stayed and loved it. And to some extent, New York did it to me too, but it reprograms you in a way that is really great. Yeah. And it eventually will turn you into a New Yorker. And I wasn't, and there's nothing wrong with New Yorkers. Let me just clarify that. But I didn't want to be that person. Yeah. And yeah, I walked away from it, and I still think it was the right idea the whole time. I don't look back with any sense of regret or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, now you have Cardinal Song.
I do.
First of all, like, what is Cardinal Song?
Cardinal Song. It's a very ambiguous term for everything that I do. So it started off. I used to be called Plan B Recording, and then when I finally decided to incorporate, that was just doing DBAs as that. And then when I decided to incorporate and turn it into a business and start paying taxes and all that other shit, I chose Cardinal Song as a kind of an homage, I suppose, to my wife. She's kind of from St. Louis area, and so, and we have cardinals that live in our backyard, and it always makes her really happy and that sort of thing. So, so I called it Cardinal Song, and it just started out of the bedroom of the house when we moved back. Sure. And kind of is just slowly developed into where we are now, which is the temporary holding place until the new spot gets finished. But yeah, so it's a production, mixing, engineering. Yeah. / I've put out a couple records on the label or whatever. So it's kind of whatever it needs to be. Yeah. Yeah.
What makes it unique, I guess?
I think I make it unique in the sense that it is based in this current form. When I move to the new place, it'll be different. But because Cardinal Song is me in a long way around, which is why the website is weird. Because I can't figure out how to talk about myself. Yeah, I think, and just like when you start your company and begin mixing and making music, it'll be unique because it's your perspective on things. I think from a technical standpoint, it's unique because I have equipment that nobody else has, and I have experience here that some people have, but not nearly as many people as you would in a larger market. You know, the Nashvilles, the LAs, the New Yorks. So I bring a different kind of aesthetic, a different kind of what I think is professionalism to what I do, and that's not to be negative on anybody else. It's just I just approach it differently. Yeah.
Well, it's the way that you hold yourself.
Yeah, it's the way I hold myself. It's the way I approach music as well, and how to treat it. Yeah.
So I mean, being an audio engineer it sort of sounds and feels like a really technical position. But it's also really creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's sort of like, how does the creativity come into a very technical position?
Well, I mean, any sort of art. I mean, think about painting. It's an incredibly technical skill, but everybody just seems to think that it just flows out of you. And that's not the case, right? Yeah. I mean, if you've ever painted, you know how hard it is to really maintain a brush stroke or to make sure that the how much paint you're putting down is consistent between. It's bloody difficult. Yeah. And engineering is no different. I mean, I think engineer used to mean something different than it does now. You know, those people were actually electrical engineers who were doing audio. Now we're just like, I push record on Pro Tools. But yeah, it's an incredibly technical thing that once you get through the technicality,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing but expressiveness.
Yeah.
And so I think in that same way that painting or drawing or anything else like that, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you get to a point of extreme technicality, and then the technicality just goes away because it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
In which case, then everything becomes jazz, and that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
That's when things get really fun.
So then what sort of becomes your favorite aspect of recording after all the technical stuff, after all of the years of
That's a good question. I think my favorite thing is hearing something unique and being able to approach it in a way that isn't stock.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to listen to it and react to it as opposed to trying to put your stamp or wrestle it into a place that is yours.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting thing is just letting the music or the sound tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're listening, if you're really listening, this job isn't hard, but you have to have the technicality and the creativity to flow with it at any given moment. Yeah, because you just never know what it's going to give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then on the second half of this is
this half two?
Yeah. So I mean, I always ask this question as vaguely as I can, which is just, what do you believe?
And it's funny because I was thinking about that on the way here, because you had prefaced our conversation by saying, I usually ask, what do you believe? And I have been thinking about that for 2 weeks. I have absolutely no idea what I believe as a grand concept.
Sure.
I don't have any religious belief. That's something that escaped me at an early age. So I know you said you were pretty interested in moral philosophy.
Yeah.
And I enjoy moral philosophy as well. I'm not maybe as well versed in some of the readings, but I know it's a vague question.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to answer it because I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least for starters, God question mark?
God question mark? No, for me. And I think, yeah, I don't have a belief in the higher being. I have no problem with the idea of a belief in a higher being, but it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why is it like, or I guess, does it not make sense to you, or what
conceptually? I understand why people enjoy that.
Yeah.
It does, but yeah, for me, it just I don't know. It makes sense as to why people would want or have an active belief in that. For me, it doesn't add up. When I really look at all the pieces of the puzzle, I don't see that.
Sure.
And maybe that's because I haven't seen all the pieces.
Sure.
I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong, but at the same time, at this point, it just doesn't. None of that even seems likely to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people would argue that, well, if there's no like thing that you're looking forward to or whatever, like, what's the point? What creates the meaning in your life?
Life itself. I think people are always looking to answer something because it's larger than what they are. I enjoy feeling small. I'm okay with the idea of being, a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, just to think about the scope of what we don't know about even our planet, much less the universe or things around us. I mean, it I don't know. There's no, I don't know. There's no real, I don't know. To me, I don't feel like there has to be a point.
Yeah.
I feel like the point is you're here now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you going to do with it? And yeah.
Then what makes life itself so special?
I don't know. It's like a self-answering question because
Yeah.
life itself is special.
Yeah.
It's yeah, the life as we know it
Mm-hmm.
is still an incredibly limited scope. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're very specific types of instruments, and we can only see so many things. We can only hear so many things. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is life?
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, it's not. It certainly isn't what we know.
Yeah.
Life has to be larger than what we know all the time.
Yeah.
Because again, we're only tuned to look at a very specific set of frequencies, a very specific set of light, a very
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we as humans will ever know what the point of any of it is.
Sure. Sure.
Just I don't know. That's the best thing I can say is I don't ever really know because I don't know that it can be known.
Yeah.
Right now.
But that's good.
Because
it's a stable
awesome.
Position because you won't be proven wrong.
Well, it's not about not being proven wrong.
Sure.
I have no problem with being wrong. I'm happily wrong all the time. But yeah, it certainly isn't from fear of not knowing or fear of being proven wrong. It's just the simple fact that we are what we are, and the idea of a grand designer or creator doesn't, given what we know about the world around us, the universe, as far as we can see back in time, as far as I can tell, the grand creator is something that just happened. You know, I don't know. How about you? What is your take on that?
I can answer that question on the next podcast, but this one's about you. Okay. So, at least what, like, to you, what makes life worth it?
I mean,
what are the things in your life that make you happy?
Well, we're sitting in a room full of them.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, I mean, equipment doesn't really. I'm looking at compressors and EQs and mics and instruments and those are all great. Those are tools that help me be successful at what I do, which is why I get really excited to get up in the morning. My wife, my dogs, my family, all those things, they're more important than even I think I know all the time. It's one of those you take it for granted, and but at the same time, yeah, it's the relationships you have. It's the people you know. It's the I don't know, the unexpected, the certainty of the unexpected day. You don't know what you're going to get every single time you get up, and that's exciting.
Yeah. And then to you, that becomes music, as far as like what you dedicate your life to be, at least a large part.
Yeah. Professionally, for sure.
Yeah. What makes music itself so much higher than some of your other interests?
I don't know. I've always been drawn to it. Always been drawn to it.
Yeah.
And the explanation there is as vague as anything else I've been saying, but it's I'm not really a musician. I don't really understand music in the classical sense. It's an emotional thing for me. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. It's the last thing I do before I go to bed. It's always been integral into my understanding of not just myself but the world around me. It shapes the world around me in a way that makes things make more sense.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not good at math, but maybe that's the kind of math that makes somehow subliminal sense to me.
Sure.
It gives order to things.
Yeah.
I like order a lot. And so maybe maybe that's what it has to do with. I don't know, but I know that in the long run, it's the consistent thing that won't ever really go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still like good music and bad music, and at least yes, your opinions, but
yeah,
like
there's the subjective nature of it. Yeah.
So I mean, at least to you, what makes musical sound more special subjectively to you?
I don't know. It's an emotional thing for me. It's purely an emotional thing. It's less brainy than I think that maybe you're implying, but it's
sure.
It's kind of an emotional center for me. I'm not a terribly emotional person.
Yeah.
Outwardly, it's the thing that makes all that make more sense. Yeah, it really does. It defines the world around me so much because of the way that I interact with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always on. I'm always learning from it, you know. Yeah, it's just the emotional center.
No, which is very interesting. I mean, I think a lot of music is more emotion than it is math anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to the extent that you kind of say that like you're not a outwardly emotional person, but at least your profession is kind of built around emotion. So then at least like what is it about the emotion that transcends just your like this sounds blank in a technical space.
Enter superfluous word here. I don't know. It's the culmination of many sounds and many feelings and expressive playing, and it evokes a response because it's not necessarily the individual sound that I get emotional about. It's I don't know. It's a culmination of all those things, and when done right, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? When done. And right, again, being subjective, but when done in a way that feels more sterile, I don't get as much from it.
Sure.
You know, and my job as an engineer is to try to help translate the emotion, the emotional aspect of it, which fits my personality type pretty well because I'm a terribly logical person and relatively detached emotionally for the job.
Sure.
You know, it's about looking at it and making qualitative decisions about it and try to then help that other person get to where they need to get in order to have the things come out of the speakers that you then will listen to and say that was good or that was bad. You know, it's that helper person that I have a tendency to be a lot. So, yeah.
And I mean, that kind of goes back to the whole like technical versus creative aspect of the fact that while it is, really technical, you also have to apply creative things to make it more emotional. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why do you think you have to be like detached emotionally to make those decisions?
I don't know that I have to be. I just am. Yeah, I don't have to be. It's just kind of who I am. Yeah, I'm relatively locked into just whatever logical person that I stick in most of the time until it's too much, and then there's some sort of outburst. But it's just kind of who I've always been, and it's one of those things that music is the balance to that. And so, you know, my involvement with it keeps me much more emotionally balanced.
Yeah. If you're like, it's funny because you're just like a really like logical, straightforward person, and so there's this layer of complexity
Mm-hmm.
to even just like the idea of music at all affecting a really logical person.
Sure. I mean, it's the thing that kind of cracks the shell most of the times. It's just that I don't know. It's hard to explain because it's just fact for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's the thing that cuts through
Mm-hmm.
where other things don't.
What makes music so special? Not even so much to you, but to everyone. It's obviously like
It's the tie that binds.
Yeah,
I
it's like
mean,
$1 million industry. So like,
yeah, but outside of that, I mean, outside of money and whatever power comes with that, I mean, just think about an African tribe,
Mhm.
right? Like they're tied together through music,
Yeah.
you know, and that's in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
At some level, it's the most base, primal aspect of who we are. You hear a beat, you want to dance. You somebody starts singing, you want to harmonize. You want to sing along. You want to be part of that.
Yeah.
It's a community.
Yeah.
You know, music to me, it absolutely is about. It's about community, but it is kind of our lifeblood of culture. It's
Yeah.
kind of where it's kind of where it starts.
Yeah.
You know, before we could write things down or before we could draw pictures, we were singing.
Yeah.
You know, it's as basic as it gets
Yeah.
for me. You know, and yeah, things were applied to it that made it technical and mathematical and all these other things. A lot of that's just figured out from nature, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for as complex as it is.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah. What's the importance of being connected to other people?
I mean,
I know it sounds like a dumb question.
it's
but
not a
like-
dumb question. I'm trying to find the right answer. I mean, there's all sorts of scientific background suggesting that with community we live longer, we're happier people, yada yada yada, all that stuff that somebody could spout off. But it's I don't know. It's the tie that binds. Whether I know you or not, we could share something over a song, and it could
Yeah.
be completely unspoken.
Mhm.
We could just be in the same room of it happening, and we could walk away talking about it.
Yeah.
It's the commonality.
Yeah.
It's just that simple for me.
Yeah.
It's usually the first thing I get into with somebody as I'm beginning to learn who they are. It's music. It's where I want to go, and then it's, I don't know, maybe movies after that, or or food, or one of those things where it's it's all those touchstones that I don't know. The more I think about it, the more just how simple it is.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it just makes sense to my brain.
Yeah. Do you think people should be more connected
To each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're doing now with our phones and all the other shit, that's I wouldn't call that connected. I would call that yes, we have access to a lot of information and music and things, which can lead to a larger, more connected place.
Sort of plugged in, but not connected.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, it's just going to be somebody screaming at somebody on YouTube
Yeah.
through their comments or so, just something awful like that. But I don't know, the kind of narcissism that's associated with our phones. I was listening to a record recently, Kate Tempest. It's this hip hop thing. She's from London, and she's got this lyric. It's me outside the temple of me. Just talking about how the phone and being connected to selfies and that sort of thing, and that kind of struck a chord. But yeah, it's that same concept. Yeah, it's the idea of our plugged inness is a little strange. I think that seeing live music, being involved with cultural things is just instrumental into making a better society. The more that I know about you, the less that someone's going to be willing to persecute or do something terrible to you. It's those sorts of things. The larger scope we have of the things around us makes us better people, makes us better communities in general. So
Yeah.
whether that's music or food or whatever. It's
Exactly.
it's all tied there.
Yeah. Um, on your website, you have a good old art above all else
Yes.
thing. What does that mean to you?
Create something individual, create something beautiful. I want to be involved with that at every level. Art above everything else. It's it's how I try to approach the things that I'm getting into. It's how I hope people feel about the work that they're doing. That's kind of where that tagline for me was. It was like, I want to make art above everything else.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't always mean it's good, but it means that we're at least trying and we're pushing, boundaries, trying to figure out what those things are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sort of like take priority over like, some of the other problems that you might run into with?
Absolutely.
Just like
absolutely.
So I mean, if you're making a record and it's just becoming really expensive or whatever, does the art push?
Yeah. I own things that I shouldn't for those reasons. Just because it helps me get to that place. And if I can get to that place faster, I'll pay that piece of equipment off, it does become that problem sometimes. And it's the time you invest in it too. It's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to do that, be that invested and not go all the way. I think you kind of have to want to go all the way with anybody you're working with all the time. And if that means, you never know what it means until you're working with that person. But the openness to be able to get there. Yeah.
I mean, and there's also like a difficulty in stepping back, because there's one difficulty in like stretching out and going, hey, I have to get this other thing. But then do you have any problems like breaking down sort of your like assumptions about what a thing should be?
Absolutely. But the more that you do it, the more that those things stop being part of the problem. And that's something I've noticed. The older I get, the less shitty I am about things. Like, oh, that band sucks. Well, does it? I don't know. Maybe I suck about thinking about that. But or guitars are supposed to sound this way. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Does that sound cool in the song? Yeah. Okay, then shut up.
Yeah.
It's great. If it is good, if it sounds good, it is good. Like I'm not gonna. I can't. I can't stamp something just because it doesn't fit my definition of what is or isn't good. So being open enough to accept what you're hearing and try to make the best of what it is very helpful. Now, I mean, I've also been given things that are just ruined, and it's like I can't do that. There's different things, but if something is done artfully and thoughtfully, I think there's a way to always manage that.
I feel that since artists have to sort of like put their stuff out there in a way that makes them really vulnerable, do you feel that yourself, being an engineer, that whenever you work on something, are you as vulnerable as the artist?
No, I can't be. I don't think that's fair. I think that their job is to be vulnerable. My job is to help them be vulnerable. So I have been vulnerable in those situations, but considerably less so than anybody else. And it's that, like, you want to try this? Let's try this. If it bombs, I may have put a lot of stock into it, but that's okay. It didn't work. But for somebody to get up there and sing their heart out about something that's really, or play their heart out, whatever, if they're expressing that emotion, I think you have to. You can't handle it with kid gloves, but at the same time, you need to be able to handle it with the care that it's presented to you. But I'm not afforded that luxury. That's not what people hire me for, is to be an emotional, vulnerable person all the time. I'm usually there to help anchor them into whatever it is they're trying to do.
And at that level, is there like, because there's like a fear of acceptance in general. I feel
Absolutely.
as it comes through that. So do you still have that whenever you are putting stuff out? Do you still like have a fear of
With people liking it,
yeah?
I don't know. It doesn't affect me nearly as much as it would affect the artist, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've done everything I can technically in order to use. I mean, I always feel like I've done as much as I can to help see that project to where it's going. Yeah, I mean, there's things that I would like to be more successful than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel very emotionally tied to it.
Yeah.
But I can't determine what people do or do not like at the same time. So, I don't know. No, I mean, I guess, yeah, I want people to like everything that I do because I like the people I work with. And I want my friends to like my friends. And if I think something's great, I want everyone to hear it and I want everyone to be involved. Which, yeah, I think that's exciting. But I don't know that when it gets to the marketplace, I get really worried about it. You know, because we've done everything we can.
Yeah.
At the record wrap, like if we don't feel good about what we've done, then that's a problem. You know, so I think we're constantly self-addressing that as we're moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that I have a fear of acceptance in that way. Maybe within a community more than as things that come out.
Yeah.
You know, I'd much rather be liked by the people that I work with than not. You know, but yeah,
that's awesome. I think is my usual last question for the first one, which is, what advice do you have for people?
What advice do I have for people? It sounds trite, but it'd be work hard and never give up. I mean, if especially in this industry, in the recording side of things, the only people who stick around are the people who actually stick around. You know, that sounds weird, but you got to be everywhere that you need to be when you need to be there, and then you have to work harder than everybody else to stay there.
Yeah.
You know, everyone thinks that what we do is just hanging out with artists and things. And that's just not what it is. It's just so much work.
Yeah.
And it's very demanding time wise, and so yeah, if you want to be an engineer, I think you got to lock in. You got to know you want to be an engineer, and you absolutely have to want to be there.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's not the thing for you.
Yeah.
If you half-ass want to be an engineer, like I'm an artist, but I want to be an engineer too. Those are different things, and they're different mindsets. And yeah, I see a lot of that in school.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to be involved with music, and that's great. I'm really happy for them, but I don't think many people actually want to be engineers when they get confronted with, here's your 18-hour day for 7 weeks. Have fun. You know?
And that expands to, I mean, a whole lot of other things that you do have to be dedicated to the thing, and not even just in production or engineering, but like
life,
being an artist or a manager or whatever.
Yeah, you got to want to be where you are. I mean, it's a lot of intent. I think you got to move with intent. You got to say what you mean what you say. Back that up in the way that you do things.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know that people aren't doing that, but I'd that's the thing for me that has always defined by meeting people, whether I know they're going to continue to do it or not.
Michael, thank you for doing this.
This is a ton of fun.
Where can we find all your stuff?
All my stuff, probably the easiest place is off the website. It's just michaeltrepagnier.com, and then you know, look out for the cool bands that we're working with.
Yeah,
so it's fun. Yeah.
And for the people who don't know how to spell that,
Trepagnier.
Yeah. I feel like every first semester student that I hear is like, oh, I have that class with Michael to Trepagnier.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. It's definitely funny.
But yeah, and I'm Santiago Ramones. I make music, and you can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com, including this podcast, which I always end with my three things that make up my life philosophy, which are love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.
Awesome.